Hello and welcome once again to GMX Armies of Middle-earth. Today I'm going to be making some evil terrain using the slice and slot method. It's a simple way to build strong, detailed pieces without overcomplicating things. Let's get started. If you remember last year, I made a full abandoned Athelian village using the awesome slice and slot method. Well, Albie has gone and done it again, but this time, nice and evil. So Albert from the Slice and Slot Empire has kindly sent me some of his new evil slice and slot pieces. This is part of his new Kickstarter campaign, which should go live as of this video being released. I'll put a link in the description, of course. Much like the last one, there's loads of incredible bits to choose from. You know, we've got windows, corner bits, doors, archways, and my favourite word, crenellations. And there will be some more goals depending on obviously how well the Kickstarter does, and there'll be more and more bits, which is exciting. Ooh. So I loaded up a couple of these bits into my slicer. I use Shitty because I am shitty. I just love the look of these. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Lots of cool wee details as well, like skulls and spikes and stuff. That said, I couldn't help but notice a severe lack of 90-degree corner pieces. So I proceeded to hassle Albert for a few days until he finally caved and made me this bad boy. Look at this fine specimen. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, and don't get me started on the trope of evil buildings having loads of like bits of metal stamped into the side of the walls, seemingly for no reason at all. My shed it's just not evil enough. I need to make it a bit more evil. How do I make it evil? I've got an idea, actually. Watch this. Isn't she just a beauty now? What do you think, guys? Oh, fantastic. But jokes aside, I do love these pieces. I think they're going to be absolutely fantastic for creating loads of different ruins and broken pieces from whatever part of Middle-earth you can think. You know, you could have Angmar. You know, I'm using these pieces for Mordor, but they would probably be more fitting for like Dol Guldur or like Thangorodrim, or an evil fortress that's been built from the ground up to be evil. Whereas my stuff is Mordor, so a lot of it will just be old ancient Gondorian watchtowers and stuff like that. So they're not going to look as evil as, say, something that was built in the first age by Morgoth and his servants, or by Sauron and Dol Guldur. You know, that really is the heart of this kit, I believe. So I have printed a couple of these bad boys out on my old Anycubic workhorse. You know, this printer has really been through the wars with me. You can see this big flappy bit of resin where I accidentally have stabbed the LCD screen. Still going though, the absolute legend that it is. But, you know, it means a big part of my build plate is just unusable. Once they're printed, I give them a quick wash with isopropyl alcohol and then leave them out in the sun to cure for as long as possible. So I do have a wash and cure station, which is very handy in Scotland, where it rains a lot and the sun doesn't come out to play that often. However, we have got lucky and there's a bit of sun going on at the moment, and I feel a longer, more natural UV exposure is better for curing prints than a big blast from some UV bulbs. Not that I can be out there with it for that long, because as a pasty ginger I'll burst into flames faster than that resin hardens. So while those cure, let's have a look at this new set of evil jigs that Albie has kindly sent me as well.
Let's get jiggy with it.
These are obviously super easy to assemble. All you need to do is pop the bits out of the MDF sheet and glue them together with a nice little bit of PVA. You know, I usually let them to sit overnight just to make sure that they fully dry before using them. Next up, while these resin pieces are still curing and the jigs are drying, I'm going to get cracking on some of the walls. Just a quick refresher on how to do the foam walls. This is straight from Albert himself.
So let's go ahead and cover everyone's favourite jig, the Score-O-Matic 10,000. You're going to need 2 extra tools for this, a grey lead pencil and a rounded scalpel blade. Now you can use your normal scalpel blade, the straight edge one, but I find it does catch in the XPS foam sometimes and tear it, whereas with the rounded edge it seems to glide through and not catch on the XPS foam as much.
So yeah, I'll definitely be trying out the curved scalpel next time. I found that my current blade isn't quite performing the best in the 10mm foam that I have. The curved scalpel is definitely a tip I'm going to be using going forward. And as you can see, I'm using this trusty old Score-O-Matic 10,000 to carve the grooves into the foam. If you're doing runes, don't forget to do both sides for that lovely authentic look. If you're just doing a building where only one side is going to be seen, you don't need to do the back, which saves a lot of time. Then I take a pencil and run it through the grooves to sharpen up the detail and add a bit of deeper definition to the brickwork. And for the horizontal bricks, I just kind of eyeball it and kind of alternate the lines with a pencil. It's quick and it looks great, and you can kind of do any pattern you want, but I've just stuck with that kind of classic, that's a brick pattern. You know what a brick pattern looks like. And then finally, the good old tinfoil ball. We use this to roll it over the surface and smash it in certain places to make that stonework have some beautiful texture. This works like magic. So as I said previously, these ancient Gondorian buildings are all going to be almost completely wrecked, as it's been probably thousands of years since Gondor had any presence in Mordor. And I'm kind of setting this build to match the last Alliance board I had done last year. So it's set roughly the end of the Second Age, so there's not going to be much of the Gondorian presence left in Mordor. You know, time hasn't been good to these buildings, much like the orc real estate agents. So I'm just kind of loosely placing these walls and resin bits on these MDF bases I have. I've got 2 A4 pieces and an A5 piece. I'm just trying to find the best combo to get that kind of sweet cinematic ruined look. Now, I'll be honest, I struggle towards the end of this making decisions on which windows and which doors to put in which walls. So yeah, I've just had a wee play about. Think of having like a big thing like that. Oh, maybe I will have the big door on this one. Yeah, I think I want the big door at that one. So then people can get through that bit. I have a small door. No! I can't decide. I kind of wish I'd put in some more bits now. I've only got one more day of sun, so don't really have time to do any more. What am I gonna do? This is the plan. I'll crack on with this. And if I want to make more, I can make more. But eventually we get there with trial, error, and of course that mild panic attack that I need to get this done for Albert's release date. Otherwise I could sit for months like designing buildings and trying to pick which configuration I want to do, because it's my favourite bit. So window time, it's to fit them properly. We need to slice a bit off the bottom of the wall, as you can see here. Then we use the window jigs to mark where the windows go before cutting them out. Now, as a certified idiot, you can see I've used the wrong jig here. I've actually asked Albert for a little quality life improvement, amongst all the other things I've hassled him about over the last few days. You know, I'd like him to maybe sculpt which jig it is into the resin part, so you can easily just go, that's an XS, or that's an XXS, and then you can pick up the right jig. Perfect for, you know, absolute idiots like myself that can't tell the size just from, you know, eyeballing it. You know, once we've got everything in place, and glue the walls back together, I think cocktail sticks are absolutely fantastic for keeping pieces aligned. Just glue the two bits together with some PVA and stab them with a cocktail stick just to keep the two pieces solid while they dry. I believe Albert uses construction adhesive, but I'm fresh out, so I'm just going to be using PVA. So don't be afraid to cut into these resin parts if required. They'll just look more weathered and battered and broken. I want this half of the ruin that I've done here to have a destroyed window, so I hacked away with it with my clippers until it fit with the foam to create a kind of destroyed window look. Now the doors are the best bit, they are even easier. You don't need to cut the bottom of the foam off as the door is not in the middle of the wall. So all we do is use the jig to cut out a hole and glue the door in. Job done, simple, simple. As I said earlier on, there are loads of other cool bits I didn't use in this build, like crenellations, arches, the nooks and crannies.
Are you sure this is the right word, alcoves?
Alcoves, yes. Kind of like nooks and crannies.
Nooks and crannies, yes. Perhaps this would be more accurate. Nooks and crannies rather than alcoves. Yeah.
You'll find pictures of all these parts on Kickstarter. Or you could do what I do and just keep pestering Albert until he makes what you want. My fucking elven terrain done. Consider yourself bamboozled. Not doing enough. Oh yikes, let's get up. For the content, mate. For the content. So, you know, the slice and slot method does take a little bit longer and a bit more effort than just printing out a single 3D printed piece and painting it. And yeah, it might cost you a few injuries on the way as well.
Fucking Jesus Christ. You fucking on. Why is everything an absolute disaster? I was just about to say you can be nice and easy and skip the whole pen step, but don't, because that's what happens.
But honestly, I absolutely adore the creativity that Slice and Slot unlocks. You know, the possibilities really are endless with this. If you can imagine it, you can probably build it. I'm sure there's going to be other channels doing videos that'll do a lot better than me, including Albert's himself. You know, some of the things he's built over the years, I highly recommend you check out. They just look absolutely banging. But I am having a great time. I just love it. Just being able to play about with all the different walls and the doors and
Nooks and crannies.
And trying to think of like cool gameplay elements and how everything interacts together, you know. Yeah, it gets me going. It gets me going. So that's the ruins fully dried. I think I left them for 2 days just to be safe. You can see them amongst some other scattered terrain. But today I'm just going to be focusing on the Slice and Slot ruins, as I already have another video on the Mordor terrain, which I'll put a link to at the end of this video, so you can just... There's going to be a few options. Athelian Village, Mordor terrain, blah 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 blah. Now we'll get on to the basing. I'm going to be using the usual mix of sand, tile grout, matte Mod Podge and black paint to make a gnarly custom texture paste. You know, I just use a massive brush that I know is going to get ruined, so don't use a good brush, and just slap it all over the terrain. Sometimes I'll even do 2 or 3 coats just to make sure it's nice thick bottom to the terrain, which will make it nice and solid and durable. I do have my mask and gloves on here. I know tile grout is diluted and already mixed into this ground texture, but I don't really fancy getting this stuff in my eyes. So safety first, hobby second. Make sure you slap this mixture all over the tops of the foam walls as well. so they look proper crumbly and dusty, not just cleanly cut foam pretending to be stone. If you have a hobby knife, you can take your hobby knife and make like different kind of patterns along the top of the walls to make it look like the stone's really falling apart. But I just went with this stone mixture this time.
So as you can see, we've gone from beautiful, lovely sunshine to shite in the space of about 2 days. So what we're going to do is work in the garage. Before I spray paint everything, I want to seal the polystyrene. So I'm going to give it like a coat of this, just in the polystyrene, and then I'm going to spray paint it black with a cheap Halford spray. Let's get cracking, shall we?
Fresh start with 2 hearts, not beating alone. Emotions change, you look away, turning the door. A goodbye, oh. Emotions change, you look away, turning the door. A goodbye, and our eyes are left to lose. Look away, too hard. Emotions change, you look away, turning the door. A goodbye, and our eyes are left to lose.
And that's it for today's evil little terrain build. That's the pieces all done here. Thank you, of course, for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed these bits of terrain I got on display here. I even got lucky enough to use them in the first game at the Scottish Middle-earth Games, so I've got some cool battle shots as well here. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, smash the subscribe button, you know, the usual Hobbit YouTube bollocks that you need to say every video. And if you haven't already, maybe leave a comment below telling me what you would like to do with your slice and thought terrain, or just mock me for stabbing myself in the hand. Either works. And of course, a massive thank you again to Albie for sending me these bits. I had an absolute blast building these bits of terrain with the pieces. And don't forget to check out his Kickstarter. Links will be in the description. And I'll put his channel also as well. Go give him a look and, you know, tell him that I am a massive bellend and should not be promoting his products. And maybe he'll make one of the stretch goals, one of those evil spooky toilets that I've been asking for. You know, orcs have got to do their business somewhere. And also, finally, a huge shout out to my lovely Patreons. Your support helps me keep the glue flowing, the foam sliced, and the printer limping along despite its wounds. And if you'd like to join them and get some behind the scenes bits, bonus videos, other content, me posting videos of me fighting fires and stuff, you know, the link's below. Come chat to me. You know, usual YouTube self-promotion bollocks, blah, 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 blah. As always, see you in the next one. Hat transition. Hat transition. Woo. You can see me through the hat. Hiya! Hat transition. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to give my bell a good old ring.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just over the top, ridiculous.
Oh,
Fairy tale character.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Dude riding like a
Yes. Fuck. Battle stations, we are at battle stations. It has stopped raining. For the first time in about 3 days. I know, it's still raining a bit. Oh, and also I have designed, for lazy bastards like myself, I have come up with the Scoromatic 69,000. This would be the same as a Scoromatic 10,000, except extended 3 or 4 times, so you can fit an entire bit of foam into it. Please make this for me, Albie. Please. 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 I can just go... Please. Please. Or by Sauron and Dol Guldur. You know, that really is the heart of this kit, I believe. What am I fucking talking about? I'm the worst salesman on the planet, man. I'm sorry, Albert. You're never going to send me anything ever again. Right, quick bit of news. I am going to put a link in the description for another fucking channel. Yes, I'm sorry, another link. But I'm going to be putting all my long form content. If you made it this far in a video, you're one of the fans. So I'm going to be putting all the long form content, such as the vlogs and the battle reports, on that channel. The reason why I'm doing a Zorp Resort, I think it's the best way to do it, because not everyone that likes the vlogs likes the hobby stuff, and vice versa. So it's a good idea to split it, and it also means I can make it as long as I want. I always felt when I was doing the vlogs that I had to like cut them and take them down to a certain length or whatever for the YouTube and that. But if I put it on a channel that I just don't care about, It's just for you guys, the actual people that like the vlogs and the battle reports and stuff like that. Then, you know, I don't need to worry about it affecting the main channel, because I've noticed that over the years, every time I put out a battle report or a vlog, the next two videos would just do shite. Yeah. Mostly because the videos are shite, but it was a noticeable difference, so hopefully doing this will help things, and it means more content, because I've got 3 vlogs filmed that I'm going to edit, and then when I get the microphones back off Alex, I'll be doing battle reports again, and the podcast is back as well. I'm filming one tonight, and we filmed one last week. We finally sorted out the issues, or the event that we cannot speak about, but it has been resolved. So yeah, podcast will be back as well, guys. Hopefully that's some good news for you. Bye bye. Talking shite long enough.
I knew he wouldn't kill a guy. I could see it in his eyes when I was telling him about the alcoves.
About the what?
The alcoves, the alcoves in the Conning Ashwood Park.
That Yuri bloke's a funny fella, isn't he? He does yoga. The alcoves.
Was he getting on to you about the alcoves?
The alcoves in the Conning Ashwood Park.